Hi and welcome to my newest reaction video to the Nostalgia Critics Jankovic's movie. I never heard of that movie, I think, so I will be very curious of what it's about. So let's see and watch together.
And gentlemen, behold the outcast, the creepy and depraved, the bizarre creations not meant for the normal world. Embrace the twisted weirdness of freak show cinema.
Oh, haven't done one of these in a while. You might even be shocked to see Weird Al Yankovic's 1989 film, UHF, being covered this way. Well, I'm doing it for two reasons. One, a lot of people want me to review it, and this is honestly the only way I know how. I usually review movies by watching them in order so I can give a reaction similar to how an audience might react watching the flow of it for the first time. And if I did that here though, I'd just be saying, that's funny, that's funny, that's a little less funny, that's a little more funny. I just don't think I could add that much in that style. Talking about the whole film in a general sense seems to add up more. Two, there is some freaky weird shit in this. I mean, its star openly calls himself weird, and can you blame him? Look at some of the people he's been seen with. So in my opinion, it does make sense to talk about the unique oddities of this movie. I also want to talk about the strange
Oh, good boss. So he's referring himself to weird. Okay, why not? And also the scenes he is referencing definitely look weird. Okay, interesting.
reception this film got when it came out, and how in many ways it changed over time, and possibly because some of these jokes were a little ahead of the game, even though in some other departments it might appear to be a little behind. So I suppose the best way to start is to bring up its lead, Al Yankovic. I don't think I need to explain how this is basically the king of song parodies from the early 80s to modern day. He's lasted longer than many of the musicians he satirized. On top of that, he's actually a pretty good singer and songwriter in his own right, recently performing tours without doing parodies and still pulling in an impressive crowd with his unique brand of zany humor. Arguably at the height of his fame, he was recommended to do a movie, as satire films were turning out big hits for over a decade.
I saw one video clip of his. I can't recall which one. Let me think. I can't remember, but I can remember I saw one of his video clips, and it was hilarious. So that's very good. Oh, and also a very good parody in the video clip music is Bart Baker. I don't think he does parodies anymore, but quick side notes. Let's continue.
They decided to make UHF about an imaginative screw-up named George Newman, who's given the opportunity to run a crummy UHF station, but a big, bad businessman named R.J. Fletcher, played by Kevin McCarthy, owns a competing station and wants to take down this channel because it's getting in the way of his success. With the help of a colorful group of friends, they'll end up stopping this stick in the mud, and this sounds like every 80s underdog story. It's because it is. So truth be told, I'm not usually the biggest fan of these setups because I usually watch films like this for the comedy, and at some point, usually in the third act, they try to take themselves a little too seriously. I'm fine with a loose cliched story as long as they have fun with the fact that it's a loose cliched story, and a lot of 80s comedies back then brought the laughs to a halt whenever the drama of what was going on was just too unique and too powerful. UHF, thank God, doesn't really do that, though reviewers at the time claimed that did. This film got dragged through the coals by critics. They not only disliked it, they hated it. Cut to obligatory Siskel and Ebert review, apparently summing up all critics at the time, like every YouTuber does.
How many jokes do you think he attempts? Maybe 200 or something like that in the course of the movie?
I wasn't counting.
Well, how many laughs? That was...
Excuse me. Why always Siskel and Ebert? Were they only two critics at the time? I mean, I'm from 1996, but why always Siskel and Ebert? Well, they are great. Okay? But why always those two? Well, you can choose for Siskel and Ebert, but no.
It's easy to count. None.
And okay, look, I'd be lying if I said I couldn't see this film winning everyone over, but why was it this despised? The two reasons I could come to is, A, as I mentioned before, they could have thought the run-of-the-mill story was too lazy and was meant to be taken seriously. And B, this did come out at a time when satire films were turning out some of the best comedies of all time. If critics knew in a few decades they'd be turning out some of the worst comedies of all time, they might have been a little kinder to it.
Very bad.
It also didn't help that even though the movie had some of the best test audience greetings since RoboCop, it was released in the middle of one of the biggest box office summers of all time.
Ay, ay, ay. Okay. Suck. Good. Good. Great. Good. I didn't saw that one. That's very good. I also didn't saw that one. Also didn't saw. Fantastic. 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 Didn't saw that one. I didn't saw that one. So yes. Big competition.
Many of them based on existing IP. A practice I'm sure wouldn't last in Hollywood long. So the film bombed both critically and financially, but has gained a cult following shortly after. On the one hand, I somewhat know where critics are coming from, as Weird Al himself admitted the story was just an excuse to cut to a lot of silly sketches and ideas. Many critics have seen films that have done this with no need for a story, like Kentucky Fried Movie or Groove Tube, so they could have seen it as a pointless waste of time. On the other hand, I get the idea of wanting to connect with characters. And while these aren't amazing leads or anything, they got pretty funny actors to bring a lot of funny personality to them.
You got change? 85. $1. Thanks, mister.
On top of that, its flexible reality allows the film to satirize stories like this. When the main character has to save the day, he imagines himself as Rambo, leading to a funny parody. But in real life, he immediately folds when even a hint of danger is suggested.
Listen, I can see you guys are pretty busy. How about if I just come back later?
When they're supposed to show how much a likable performer named Stanley, played by Michael Richards, connects instantly with the public, people are excited to watch him even before they see him.
Look, everybody, he's coming back on!
They're so excited to see him on TV before he even says anything. Hell, it's a kid's show. Why would they have a kid's show on in a bar?
That's strange.
He even makes a speech that's basically gibberish, yet everyone hears it as a new American anthem.
Hey! These floors are dirty as hell, and I'm not gonna take it anymore!
Even when they're showing the comically instant hostility between George and Fletcher. George calls him RJ, and not only does everyone freeze, the phone stopped ringing. Like somehow the people calling heard it too.
Hey, RJ!
And after he leaves, the phones go right back to ringing again. Now, do these turn the world of storytelling cliches on its head? No, but it shows it has an understanding of its tropes and plays around with them in a way that shows they're not meant to be taken seriously in the slightest. And also, in typical Weird Al fashion, film's just not afraid to be silly.
Conan, the librarian.
I'm sorry, these books are a little overdue.
There's so many segments in this that are so random and seemingly pointless that you can't help but laugh.
Gandhi 2. No more Mr. Passive Resistance. Gandhi 2.
Film's director, by the way. That's pretty funny. Wait, what ethnicity is he? Problematic. The combination of this weirdness with original main characters also makes for some great jokes you couldn't really do in a straight-up genre parody like Airplane or Young Frankenstein. Like Milo, the studio tech guy has one of the most bizarre endings of any character.
It appears my work on this planet is complete. I must now return to my home on the planet Zarkon.
Have a nice flight back to the coast.
There's a satire of overly niche stores with an ad for Spatula City.
They make great Christmas presents.
And what better way to say I love you than with the gift of a spatula?
Which, by the way, that billboard stayed up all summer long, baffling drivers.
Spatula City, we sell spatulas, and that's all.
There's a funny take on local TV gimmicks when a crazy car salesman reveals he might actually be crazy.
Nobody comes down and buys a car from me in the next hour? I'm gonna club this baby seal!
Actually, there's a ton of animal abuse jokes in this for seemingly no reason, which just makes the randomness of it even funnier.
Today we're teaching poodles how to fly. Get ready
Oh, no,
and
no, no.
fly!
Not the puppy. Not the
man.
puppy.
Well, we just saw the making of Milo and Otis.
Oh my god. Ooh,
Doug Walker here. I wish I could face you, but I'm melted. It is that hot in
the
Illinois right now.
puppies.
This is my
Puppies.
thermostat. The right is what it's set at. The left is what the actual temperature is. I am dead serious. There I am. This is what I melted into. Not sure how it accumulates. Ooh, factor is good. Not all the humor in the film results in big laughs. Like there's an out-of-nowhere music video that I guess follows the trope of comedies at the time having random trippy musical numbers, but they don't really do a ton with it. Granted, the music video on its own is a decent parody of Money for Nothing.
Y'all come back now here.
Jesus, we're still doing that. And there's occasionally
Ooh,
a
that's
reference that
salty.
seems to be there just to be a reference.
This means something. This is important.
Yay, that existed! Some references I don't even know how many people nowadays would remember.
3 badgers.
Badgers? We don't need no stinking badgers!
Clearly a reference to Blazing Saddles. But sometimes that combination of silly and random can make a scene that's not super funny suddenly hilarious. There's a TV show called Wheel of Fish. Not really much to it outside of that. It's Wheel of Fortune, but with fish. I feel like there's not a ton of jokes you can get out of that.
A red snapper. It's very tasty.
But combining it with his neighbor, a bizarre karate instructor who calls everyone stupid, suddenly makes it silly enough to be pretty entertaining and memorable.
I'll take the box. Let's see what's in the box. Nothing. Stupid. You're so stupid.
Of course, a lot of humor
That's
behind
good.
these shows is that he's getting friends to create content, or people who clearly haven't been on camera that much and don't know the rules, so they don't know they're breaking them and usually make for good entertainment. Like they're so strange, awkward, and one of a kind, they're kind of amazing. Tell me that's not predicting a lot of online content. YouTube, TikTok, even reality TV have ended up going a very similar route. Now, do I think this was a brilliant lampoon of how the future of entertainment was gonna go? Not intentionally, but a lot of the satires in this, for better or worse, did end up coming true. His talk show was supposed to be a parody of Geraldo, mocking the anticlimactic reveal, what was inside Al Capone's vault.
We unlock the mysteries of Al Capone's glove compartment.
Road maps.
Its desperate exploitive subject matter,
Sex with furniture. What do you think?
and the one episode that ended in a brawl. Here, though, he purposefully teams up people he know won't get along, so they'll always get in a fight. Sound familiar?
Lesbian hookers abducted by UFOs and forced into weight loss programs. All this week on Town Talk.
I'll give credit too that while the characters in this aren't amazing, they're totally fine. Do I really care much if George gets together with his girlfriend Terry, played by Victoria Jackson? No. Do I think the friendship between George and Bob, played by David Bowe, yes, you did mishear that, is one of the great movie friendships? Not really. But I do care a bit when the small camera operator, played by Billy Barty, is knocked over, and smile with joy when Fletcher's whiny son, played by John Paragon, gets his comeuppance for it.
Oopsie.
I never found any of them annoying, and the film does allow good moments for them to improvise.
This is pretty good one. Tastes like poop.
They honestly serve as reasons for performers to go over the top and have other performers react to it. In fact, sometimes the reactions are just as funny, if not funnier than the outbursts. Like this scene involving a secretary, played by Fran Drescher, who is introduced to whatever number manager this is.
Can I help you?
Hi, I'm George Newman. I'm the new station manager.
It goes back and forth between being played straight and being played as a satire of similar scenes from other movies, which keeps the comedy lively. Even when a joke doesn't work, it either quickly moves on to one that does, or it keeps you entertained with characters that are just odd and likable enough to enjoy.
What time is it? 7:30. Oh boy, I gotta go. I'll see you later, Bob.
As much as this film got ripped apart for its cliched story and random humor,
comedy.
I argue that's bizarrely part of what makes it stand out. Whenever you think it's going to be in our sketch, they lure you in with a character moment that's relatable enough that you do care a bit for these people. Then when you think it's going to take these moments too seriously, it'll throw in something completely bizarre and absurd, delightfully shrugging, hey, we're just having fun here.
Did you get fired again?
Yes, it's all true. I just don't know what's wrong with me.
Great reaction.
Close for dinner.
Like I said, I can see this not being everyone's humor, but it is strange it got so much backlash when it came out. Honestly, the critics' reactions are so over-the-top harsh, it almost feels like a cartoony response from the film's stick-in-the-mud villain. The nice thing, though, is not only have people gravitated towards it more and more over the years, but other critics, like yours truly, have started to change the tides a bit, giving it a warmer reception than when it first came out. And like I mentioned before, one of the things that stands out about it is just how strange it is.
Take that for...
Yes, because the nostalgia, I like the Nostalgia Critic. He gives his own look on the movie, and he gives it with his own appreciation. And others will check it out. Maybe I will check out the movie myself. Maybe I will like it. Maybe I will not like it. But I think yes. Critics can break or make a movie. So yes.
Ridiculous thing off.
Oh.
It isn't like bad parody films where the jokes don't make any sense or overly rely on references. The strangeness does come from a relatable enough point where, even though it's odd, you can still trace back the foundation of why it's funny. Just acknowledging the chipmunks exist isn't funny. People riding off the adrenaline of a hyper kid show to a point where you don't even think about the kid's safety?
You get the drink from the fire hose! Open wide!
That's friggin' hilarious.
Yes,
It's like the randomness leads a trail of breadcrumbs back to why it gets a laugh out of you, showing there is method to the madness. So yeah, I'm happy it got a following. I'm happy it followed popular tropes in its own unique way, and in a strange respect, I'm glad it's not a comedy great, it's just a solid good time. If you want a comedic film that's gonna challenge you, evolve the art of satire, or take risks, there's plenty of those to talk about and admire. But if you want a film that's as humorously strange as it is strangely humorous, I think this brings the laughs if you're just in the right weird mood.
Hope you enjoy it!
I'm the Nostalgia Critic guy, remember? So you don't have to.
I'm quite dark. You know what? I think the Nostalgia Critic, while dark, convinced me to watch the movie. I'm convinced. So, if you like the reaction, please like and subscribe, and leave a comment below. See you next time.